Welcome, everyone, and thank you for coming to Banker and Consumer Affairs Subcommittee. And this is our final calendar. This will actually be final calendar light because we've had several taking off today. And so we're going to start out with the roll call, and then we'll do a little housekeeping. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Representatives Boyd, Bricken, Camper, Faison, Haston, Lynn, Powell, Vaughn, Chairman Powers.
Here.
Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And the first thing we're going to do is go over a few of these. Item number 1 has been requested to be taken off notice, and without objection, House Bill 2111 is off notice. Item number 5 has been requested to taken off notice, and bill's been calendared 3 times. Without objection, it is referred to the special calendar. Item number 6 has been requested taken off notice. Without objection, House Bill 2793 is off notice. Item number 7 has been requested to be taken off notice. Since this bill has been calendared 3 times without objection, it is referred to the special calendar. Okay, and with that, we'll get back on to the regular calendar. And the first one on the regular calendar will be item number 2, House Bill 2114 by Representative Eldridge. We have a motion and a second. Representative Eldridge, you're in proper position to take up your bill.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee, and hopefully we're a little better prepared this round. We do have an amendment on the bill.
Okay, and we need that amendment number, please.
That tracking code is 14630.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the amendment. Will you explain the amendment, please?
Thank you, sir. Yes, this bill simply amends the Tennessee Code Section 47 by adding to the list of unfair and deceptive practices the advertising of home warranties to consumers in the state or issuing and delivering home warranties to consumers in this state without explicitly stating in writing what the warranty will cover and pay for in full. And that's the bill.
Okay, have any questions on the amendment? Got a motion and a second. Got a motion and a second on the amendment. We're going to be voting on the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The amendment's on the bill, and do you have further explanation on the bill?
That makes the bill.
Okay. Do we have questions on the bill? Nothing? Got a question on the bill? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The bill moves on to full commerce.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee.
Thank you, Representative Eldridge. Okay, I do not see Representative Byrd here. So we're going to roll item number 3, House Bill 1664. We're going to roll it to the Hill and give him time to get here. I do not see Representative Towns on item number 4. We're going to roll it to the Hill also to give him time to get here. And we're going to drop down to item number 7, House Bill. Pardon me. Item number 7 has been put on the special calendar. Item number 8, House Bill 2078 by Chairman Bricken. I'm sorry. I've jumped off one. House Bill 2505 by Representative Lynn. Representative Lynn, you're recognized. Okay. Without objection, we're taking off notice. Thank you. And now we will jump to item number 8. Sorry, Chairman Bricken. House Bill 2078. You are recognized on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This does have an amendment to it, drafting code 14362.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we need a motion and second on the bill. Did we get one? Second. Okay, got them both. Now we need a motion and a second on the amendment.
Second on the amendment.
And we have both of them, and we're back on the amendment. Do we have any questions on the amendment?
The amendment just changes the definition of the word employee.
Okay. So all in favor of the amendment say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Back on the bill as amended. Would you like to?
Thank you,
Explain further the
Mr.
bill.
Chairman. And this bill certainly is not directly in my wheelhouse, but it will basically prohibit Tennessee employees from applying and getting a Section 14C sub-minimum wage exemption from the Department of Labor. This is a very limited scope bill. Back in 1938, the federal government granted this 14C waivers to allow employers to hire disabled individuals at below the minimum wage, and it certainly just is kind of has outlived its usefulness. In Tennessee, there's only 2 employers that have requested or have an active license there, and they're both are very much in agreement in support of this bill, according to the Department of Labor. So and I think they only employed about 30 or 40 employees. So it's very limited in scope. There's 10 states that have already passed it, 5 states that are pending. The Trump administration a few years ago came out in full support of doing away with the 14C amendment. So I think it's just time for Tennessee to do the right thing here. The Senate has already passed this 28-3, so certainly I hope the House will come on board and support it too. So with that, I'll stop talking.
Representative Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sponsor, there are some agencies, and I'm just curious, there are some agencies that help people who have intellectual disabilities train for work and then get a job. And I know that in my area, Prospect was a agency that was doing that, and they literally have a warehouse in the back, and they took in work so that these folks could do some work, like maybe someone printed their annual report and some of the pages needed to be replaced. They would contract with that company, and these workers would take out the pages that were bad and put in pages that are good, different things like that. But learning those skills then, and learning the discipline of, working for a few hours and all of that, would help them then transition to other jobs. And so you might see these folks working at Dollar General or Publix or MAPCO, and it's wonderful that they can then get a job. But have we checked with the area agencies who do that kind of training? Because I do think when they are paying those folks to do that work when they're in training, that it might be a reduced wage. I don't think it's quite minimum wage, because it's kind of a dual benefit. They're getting training, and in return, they are getting paid for the work that they're doing because it was taken in and it is real work. So have we heard from them, or maybe they do pay minimum wage? I'm not sure.
Chairman Bricken.
In discussing this with labor, they cited several examples of nonprofits and all of doing what I call training situations and learning. And they said that's, first of all, is outside the scope of the 14C exemption. Okay. They can do that under, I don't know if it's under some global contracting arrangements, but this will not affect them.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? I actually have one too, just to clarify, because I know we had talked about this before, and going back to what Representative Lynn had talked about, but I actually have a home in my district, and what they do, these are people, they work at about half I think they get paid about half the rate of what minimum wage is, but they have a contract with DID, Department of Intellectual Disabilities, and so they have a contract with them, and they have, their home is provided for, they live in special homes, but they do have a warehouse, and they go in and do work, it's a little bit of manual labor, but they do have jobs, and they're, I go out and visit them quite often, and they love their job and love what they're doing, and they do it at a lower rate of pay, and some of these companies will contract with them, and it might just be putting some things together or doing some packaging work like that. And my understanding is this will not affect them at all. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the sponsor? If not, we're going to be voting on House Bill 2078. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The House moves on to full commerce.
Thank you, committee.
And now we're going to go back. We have, going back to, on the Hill, we're going to go back to item number 3, House Bill 1664 by Representative Byrd. Representative Byrd, do we have a motion on, second on the bill? Representative Byrd, you are recognized on the bill, and I think you have an amendment too, please. That's why we need a motion and a second on the amendment. And we're going to be voting on the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The amendment is on there. Do we have, would you like to explain the amendment, please?
I had a Tennessee constituent. He wasn't one of my constituents, but he was from Lewisburg, and he called before COVID hit, and he was having an issue where his competitor was putting out thousands of false reviews on the internet against his competitor, and after a year of investigation, and I think about $150,000, they finally settled. I think it's undisputed and it's closed right now. But he called about this, how much trouble it is for people to go online and put false reviews. And of course, I know anytime that I go to Florida or buy a product, the first thing that I do is go online and look at the reviews. And I think there's like 95% of the people that does that. And so he was having problems with this. And so he asked me if I would help him with this issue. And like I say, I was supposed to run this bill last year, but wasn't able to because of COVID. But I'd like for him to come next week if we can pass this bill and let him testify about his story, because it's a really interesting story. In fact, I think maybe one of the local news station, they did a story about it a couple years ago, or last year one. And so all this does, it makes the fines, which were $500, it can be triple now. It can give the judge more flexibility to hand out penalties to help the consumer or the business owner. So I didn't, like I say, he said there was 2,000 false comments that this company had posted. And he said that he also, the company that did this also did it against 2 other smaller companies and ran them out of business. And he said he was just lucky that he was a big enough company to find out who was doing it. And so I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions on the amendment? Oh. Sorry, any questions on the bill? Representative Powell.
Thank you. I actually have an interest in this. Listened to a story not too long ago about how many false reviews are actually out there, and I know there's even websites that basically you can run. Certain companies have a lot of reviews, and you can basically take their product and put it into this different website, and it will essentially weed out all the false reviews, because there's an algorithm to show like how many of these are produced by bots or fake, different fake entities that essentially will just churn these out. There's no proof that they ever either purchased the product, went to the business. And so I think it's really important because, like you said, you could basically take your competitors out by just putting a bunch of bad reviews, and reviews are so critical. I guess my only question for you is, how do you know that if somebody was to go on and actually do a legitimate review and they had a gripe or an issue with the business or the service that was provided, this in no way would impact that. This
No.
this strictly deals with people who are creating numerous false reviews. And I guess my question is there a threshold that they would have to meet? I mean, how do you show that there's numerous false reviews out there?
Well, I know this guy, he started going back and looking at the reviews and would actually find out that it wasn't his customers. None of the ones that he had a false review was his. And he said it was really, I'm not sure if he hired a investigator, but he said it's really a big problem to find out who did it. And he says, 5 or 10, he, just, throw them aside. But 2,000, I think, is what he said on these reviews. And, you can also use this the reverse way, too. You can set up fake accounts and give yourself 5-star reviews on your product or your restaurant. So you can do it both ways, I guess. So hopefully this will deter a company from going after another company like this. So.
Got it. Chairman, would this also impact people that did that? Would use false reviews for their own business? Could another business say, well, these are a bunch of false reviews that they gave. These are all just their family members, and is that included in this as well?
I would think so.
Okay. All right. Thank you. No further questions.
Chairman Bricken, you reckon that?
If this passes, who is going to be the policeman of this? Is that the Attorney General?
Well, it's pretty much the burden. Proof of burden is on the company itself. I think he did call the the general attorney's office, and I may be thinking he even called the attorney general's office. But like I say, it's a lot of legwork and a lot of investigation to find out what company's behind it, and so it's going to take a lot of time and effort to prove that. But he did.
Chairman Bricken, do you have any? Okay, I have a few questions for the
Okay.
sponsor. Just wanted to clarify a couple of things real quick. So you did mention Attorney General's office, and does this make it? I think right now, when I actually spoke with them and asked, make sure that we were doing something that weren't duplicating something, and I don't think we are. But I was just trying to figure out, does it make it mandatory now, the court, when it goes to court, it makes right now it's kind of, they have the flexibility you were talking about, but does this kind of make it mandatory that the court has to make a
Like to
decision
do a
on-
trial jury?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. And the other question I have, does this primarily just a business to business when one business is trying to hurt
Yes.
another, so it really won't affect
Consumers,
consumers?
yeah. A
'Cause,
private.
Because sometimes, there really is there really is a reason to have a negative review, by somebody. So we just don't want it to hurt consumers when they have a legitimate complaint.
In fact, I think the day that I filed this, the next day I had a constituent in my district called me and said, Coach said, we're fixing to post a bad review about, someone that was cutting some trees and supposed to dispose of. Is that going to hurt us if we do that? And I said, no. I said, take some pictures and show what he did. And I said, this is mainly for competitors.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions before we vote? I think we're ready to vote. All in favor of House Bill 1664 going to full commerce, say aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. You're going to full commerce. Thank you, Representative Barr.
Thank you.
And Since since Representative Towns didn't show up, oh, there he is, for the meeting, you are up. The next bill is House Bill 2747 by Representative Towns. Representative Towns, you are recognized.
You settle your butt down.
Got a motion and a second,
What you need to do is settle down.
and doesn't appear to be an amendment, so we're on the bill. Representative Towns.
Instead of you.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's not, no. Yeah. But we're on the bill. Representative Towns, you are recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I hate to trouble you with this, but I'm being harassed in this meeting, and I don't like it one bit. Okay.
We have security over here.
There he is, right there. This one right here, with the American tie on. Okay. We will, son. Mr. Chairman, members, thank you. Mr. Chairman, let me just bring something to your attention with this bill. And what we're seeking to do is this. Many of you all may have already participated in organizations that offer lifetime membership. You pay the lifetime membership, and there's a little fee that they want a little later on. And if you're late paying your fee, they'll cancel your lifetime membership, and you pay thousands of dollars for the membership. Something about that arithmetic is not right. You paid for it, and they want a renewal fee, and so you won't get the notice if, let's say you have a lifetime membership for a gym or for some other organization, and when you pay it out, it may be 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Well, obviously you're not gonna, it's not like a utility bill that comes every month, or a telephone bill. You're gonna forget it. There's no question about it, you're just gonna forget it. But they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. And so what it does is just simply says, hey, before they can cancel you, they need to give you at least 2 or 3 notices so you'll know. Today, many of you all travel. We travel. We're different parts of the world, different parts of the state. And you may not be at home for 60 days. You may be anywhere trying to make a living today. And what it simply allows for is just some more notice. Essentially, that's it. You know, just let us know so I don't lose my $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 that I thought I had. For a lifetime membership, it ought to be a lifetime membership without any shenanigans. And ladies and gentlemen, essentially, that's it. That's what the bill does.
Okay, do we have any questions for the sponsor? I did have one question.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. Most lifetime memberships, you pay it's an upfront fee, you know, X amount of dollars, whatever, for a lifetime. So this bill is only regarding ones where you set it up like on a payment or schedule or whatever. Is that correct? So I mean, I've bought a lifetime membership before, but I just paid like one
lump
huge
sum.
amount. Yeah, I never. You had a life.
It impacts them both because
Okay.
you've already paid for your lifetime. You know, but sometimes, you know, you may get it on credit. I've had some in the past I paid for them over a period of time. Or if you pay it at one time, you've already paid for it.
Right.
You know?
But I just wonder, it doesn't affect those. You were just talking about the ones that set up on kind of annual payment plan or whatever, those type, right?
Well, from the way I read it, it was brought to me, it would be any lifetime membership that you paid for, and you have to pay a renewal fee. It's all about the renewal fee.
Okay.
Is what it is.
Okay.
The renewal fee is real nominal. It may be $5. It could be $25. But like I say, you forget it sometimes, and then they'll have that clause in there. If you don't do it, you lose your membership, and you
Okay.
pay $2,000 or you pay
Okay.
whatever. You know.
Chairman Faison, you're recognized.
Oh my God.
You better recognize that man.
Oh man, I'm gonna catch you at your car. Okay.
So I want to know what the enforcement mechanism is if a person signed up for a lifetime something or another, and then the people go out of business, or they just don't provide the lifetime, or they cheat on them. What happens then?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing that happens now. I mean, you know, people go out of business right now today, and people cheat today. I mean, if the person, you know, doesn't complain about it, we don't have an arm of, you know, that's not what you call a crime. You don't want a real crime. But if it happened to me, I'd go and complain to the company about it. If the company's out of business, I'm just out of luck. I mean, just really, I'm out of luck. And companies do go out of business. But there's no enforcement mechanism. But companies tend to try to do what is right when they know the law has been modified, like we do here hundreds of times a year. People just comply, for the most part. But you're always going to have some bad apples, always, And, but no, it's not something, police have enough to do. They got plenty to do. This is not one of, this is a consumer deal. That's what it boils down to. Mr. Chairman, may I say this as well?
Please.
I had the great pleasure of meeting your son, and I can tell what side of the family he takes after, okay?
And all his
I
family,
can't
for that
help it,
matter.
man. But what it is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a consumer-friendly bill to try to take care of some consumers. Believe it or not, it was my senior citizens brought this to me. They were mature. They were going to the gyms and so forth, and they wanted more money.
One more question.
Chairman Faison.
You referred to them as your senior citizens. Representative Towns, are you considered a senior citizen as well?
Mr. Chairman,
Representative Towns.
from my metrics, I am not, but I'm trying to get there, and I want to go further. I really want to get there. I really do, But you might consider me as a senior citizen, so respect your elders, okay?
Okay, do we have any other questions on the bill? Let me just remind you, you know the status of the bill in the Senate.
I do.
And would you like to move forward with the vote, or would you like to take it off notice? You have the option of doing either one.
Mr. Chairman, and your infinite wisdom, I believe we're smarter than the Senate. I'd love to take Mr. Faison and a few of us over there and see if we can twist some arms and get it off the general sub account. And I don't know what they saw. I don't know how it was explained, but I know it isn't general sub over there. I do know that. What's your best intellect, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I will. I'm going to refer to Chairman Vaughn and let him pontificate on this.
To my dear friend from Shelby County, also who is we can tell is an avid fitness club member.
You are.
I would just Representative Towns. Last week we were shooting for last week to be our last calendar in committee, and what I would suggest that you do, I would appreciate it as we're building that calendar, and you being a member of that esteemed group, if we could keep that calendar to where we can handle the issues in front of us that day that we know have a chance of those bills proceeding forward, then I would certainly appreciate it. And that way you can focus on the bills that we've got in front of us, not having to go over there and lobby this bill through that body. And so I know as full committee chairman, I'd appreciate it if we let it lay here today. But I understand your frustration, and I appreciate the way that you're working hard for your constituents.
Yeah. Representative Towns.
Mr. Chairman and Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the insight, and it makes sense. I know we're on this speed track we're trying to get out so we can go do what we have to do for the next season. Mr. Chairman, now are there going to be any summer studies you're going to meet? Will they meet this summer?
We always have summer studies. Yeah. Sometimes lots of them. Yeah.
But will they meet? I know it's a campaign year. There's a lot going on.
I think that it has to be brought up by the committee or whatever to have a true summer study. And
right.
Yeah. So I can't answer that, to be honest with you.
Well, Chairman, we'll take it off notice at this point. That's what we'll do, because summer studies.
Okay.
Love for it to be in the summer study, but we probably won't get a chance to meet and deal with it. But at any rate, on the record, everything is said on the record. I want it on the record.
Okay.
As it relates.
Yeah, Chairman Vaughn.
I appreciate that, because really, as opposed to you focusing on this summer study, I want you to focus on that campaign, because you need to be back here next year representing those folks that you care about. So I certainly do appreciate that move, Representative Towns.
Mr. Chairman and members, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Without objection, we're going to take it off notice.
Mr. Faison, I see you on the outside.
Okay. Okay, now we have a special calendar that we're going to go through very quickly. It was item number 1, House Bill 859, without objection, is referred to the clerk's desk. Item number 2, House Bill 709, without objection, is referred to the clerk's desk. Item number 3, House Bill 1856, without objection, is referred to the clerk's desk. Item number 4, House Bill 375, without objection, is referred to the clerk's desk. Item number 5, House Bill 1295, without objection, is referred to the clerk's desk. Item number 6, House Bill 1467, without objection, is referred to the clerk's desk. And seeing no other business, the House Banking and Consumer Affairs Subcommittee, we do have Representative Faison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And before we close out this committee, subject to the call of chair, I just want to give props to you to doing an excellent, fine job leading this committee, and all the staff that you have with you and your assistant there. Excellently done. Y'all give him some love.
Thank you. They do a great job, and they keep me within the rails all the time, within the guardrails. But we appreciate Jamie and Lovin and Holly and Ben for everything that they do to help us out and keep us on the right track. So thank you all. Have any other comments before we leave for the year? Hopefully, leave for the year. Okay, so the House Banking and Consumer Affairs Subcommittee is closed, subject to the call of the chair.